look up at the sky, and wait for a passenger jet to cross it, trailing its thin white line. Then imagine stepping aboard one yourself and settling into your seat as it climbs above the clouds. Almost every large airliner you will ever fly in, anywhere on Earth, was built by just one of two companies. Two, in all the world. One of them is American, and the other was born as an unlikely European gamble to challenge it. It is called Airbus, and this is a series about the companies that run the world. Airbus represents one half of perhaps the most consequential duopoly on the planet. Between it and its great American rival, Boeing, the two of them build essentially all of the world's large passenger jets. If you have ever flown across an ocean, you have almost certainly trusted your life to one or the other, and probably without ever thinking about it. To understand Airbus, you have to understand how improbable it once was. It was born around 1970 as a consortium of European nations, France, Germany, Britain, and Spain, pooling their separate and struggling aircraft industries into one. Their aim was audacious, and more than a little political, to break the total American dominance of the skies. And against almost everyone's expectations, the upstart won. From a long-shot venture that many assumed would fail, Airbus grew until it could match Boeing plane for plane, and in recent years has often outsold it outright. It is one of the rare cases in all of industry of a state-backed challenger beating the incumbent at its own game. At the heart of its success sits one family of aircraft, the A320. It is the single-aisle workhorse that forms the backbone of short-haul flying all over the world, the direct rival to Boeing's famous 737 and the steady engine of Airbus's fortune. The odds are good that your last flight was on one. Now consider why almost no one else on Earth can do this at all. Building a safe airliner demands colossal capital, a global supply chain of thousands of specialist firms, and a certification process so exhaustive it takes many years to complete. The barriers to entry are among the very highest in all of industry, and they climb higher every decade. There is another moat too, and it is a remarkable one. Airbus and Boeing each carry an order backlog of many thousands of aircraft, representing the better part of a decade of production already sold in advance. An airline that places an order today may wait years, sometimes the better part of 10, for its planes to actually arrive. That scarcity hands the duopoly enormous power. With only two real suppliers in the entire world, the airlines have almost nowhere else to turn, and the pair effectively divide the market between them and set the terms of the trade. It is a rational and a very comfortable rivalry sheltered from any real newcomer. The balance between the two, though, can shift dramatically. In recent years, a series of painful safety and quality crises at Boeing shook global confidence in its aircraft and handed Airbus a clear upper hand. It was a stark reminder that in this business, trust itself is a central part of the moat and can be lost. And now, for the first time in decades, a genuine new challenger is stirring. China's state-backed champion, Mache, is building its own single-aisle jet, the C919, determined to break the long Western grip on the skies. It remains years behind on technology and scale, but the full weight of a nation stands behind it. Even so, the fortress is formidable. The spotless safety record, the years of certification, the sprawling global supply chain, and that vast backlog together form a barrier that even a determined nation-state will take decades to truly scale. You simply cannot will a trusted rival airliner into existence overnight. Airbus is not only about jetliners either. It also builds helicopters, military aircraft, and satellites, which weaves it deep into the defense and space ambitions of an entire continent. The company that helps carry you on holiday also helps carry a good part of Europe's security into orbit and into battle. So we reach the question this series always asks of what would break if Airbus managed. Half of the world's entire supply of airliners would simply disappear, and Boeing could not conceivably absorb the gap. Airlines could no longer grow their fleets, air travel would slowly seize up, and the vast global economy that rides upon it would stall for years on end. Which brings us to the uncomfortable question. We have quietly allowed the freedom to move across our entire planet, to cross whole oceans in a single day, to rest upon the health of just two companies. is a planet spanning duopoly on flight itself. Something we should truly accept, with no real alternative at all if either one should falter. To be fair, and it genuinely deserves saying, building machines that carry hundreds of people safely through the thin upper air, millions of times every year, is among the very greatest engineering achievements of our species. The sheer, boring reliability of modern flight is little short of a miracle we have all learned to ignore. And that is the deeper lesson of this particular giant. Some human endeavors are so hard, so ruinously costly, and so unforgiving of the smallest error that the market for them naturally collapses down to just two survivors. The deepest power is to be one of the only two on earth who can do a thing the whole world cannot live without. So the next time you watch a jet trace its slow white line across the sky, remember that only two companies on the entire planet are able to build it. And remember that one of them began as a bold European wager, daring to challenge the established masters of the American sky and improbably winning.